Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz back again. We're here with Yellow. You guys know the deal. Joined by Andy, Dean, and Paru. Let's get fucking cracking. Andy, go ahead.
Doing a group howl, right?
No.
Oh, guess not.
That was so cringe.
Well, you left me hanging. That's why.
Posted cringe on the YouTube channel.
Oh, I can't believe you posted cringe.
This whole channel's cringe. Go.
But you know what's not cringe? This Meliotis. When it's placed on stage from your hand, if you have another Britannia character, it gets +1 level and plus 1500 power. And he is a clean cut, so when you reverse your opponent, you get to rest and move one of your characters to the backstage.
This is a clone of the DeCapo clean cut. This is the best clean cut.
Best clean cut profile.
It just gets a level for free. Like, how do they have the power budgeting on this? Like,
meets condition gets a level 1500 power. It just so happens that condition is completely like meaningless when put on a clean cut.
Yeah, you know,
because strange to say, I think clean cuts are overrated. The more I play with them in like the current meta, they're the most like okay card that sometimes feels good.
I think it depends the way your level 0 like pans out. I think the fact that Seven Deadly Sins has this card and the Gil Thunder Chaser means that they can go slow or fast depending on how they open, which is really good. Because like clean cut's like a tri-field get stock kind of card, and the Chaser is like a slow down, I need time to sculpt kind of card. So the fact that they can choose depending on how they open, or you know what they have access to, or how they build, is like a real big reason to like maybe play the set in the first place. That they can really dictate the pace of level 0 however they want to.
also, if you're trying to facilitate the 8-choice deck and just like cram a bunch of soul triggers in your deck, if you just run 4 copies of this Meliotis and 4 copies of the Gil Thunder Chaser that's in green, you can run an extremely thin 0 lineup. Because like everything pluses you and everything lives. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I just like
you don't need to open that many zeros.
I get what you're saying, though, Dean.
So premium.
They're just they just seem like very I don't think clean cuts are as good as they used to be. That's like kind of what I'm trying to say.
I think especially with the advent of Kaguya, because Kaguya is a set that plays 6 runners. And the more people that play Kaguya, the worse clean cut is across the board.
Runners, clean cut, they just feel like they're not as good as they used to be. Like the reverses just aren't there like they used to be. Like even in the mirror match, right? You like slam 4 of this in, and then like your opponent opens like the chaser, and you just go, yeah, you can't do anything. Like
I think you play this as a 3 of, like you play a 4-3 split. Gil Thunder this, despite how good this card is. I think if you had more like things to spend your stock on, you would value this over the Chaser maybe. Because like that's what DC does, right, with this card. I mean, like Par has also played that deck. It's like you play the clean cut because you're paying 1 a bunch in the early game to like fuel your memory shit, but like this deck is not doing that at all. So
it needs a lot of stock on the top end, I feel.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. You get your stock back, right? You have to pay 7 to play the full board, and then you get the fuel back to like do it if you're really in that bad of a spot. But I mean, I don't know. Nemu clean cut's just good. If we're talking about a clean cut, this clean cut in a vacuum, it loses the utility. It loses the utility of you knowing your top card, like Rem clean cut, but like you get guarantees that it will always be big and will always be level 1. So worthwhile trade-off. We good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next card. Elizabeth, Druid Priestess. This is literally vanilla cigarettes. I'll run through it real quick for people who don't know what that profile is. On turn, plus 1500 power, so she's 6k by herself, 7k with the climax. On attack, you mill 2. You choose a level X or lower from your waiting room and add it to hand. X is the combined level of the cards milled. I think we've talked about this before. This is like the absolute like bottom line of a playable like on attack combo that is like that you would sleeve up and play. The fact that it is on a choice trigger is probably the most interesting part about it. The fact that it, has implications on your deck building. But at the end of the day, it's just totally fine. Like, whatever.
There's definitely an implication when you're playing choice triggers.
Yeah. Because of the implication.
Yeah, it's because of the implication.
Mm-hmm.
Understandable.
The implication being that you need to run more soul triggers so that your fucking trigger does something. Seven Deadly Sins does have decent utility zeros you'd want to add, so maybe that would be a reason to play this over other level 1 combos, because when you whiff level entirely, level 0 and a climax, there are relevant cards to grab. I think that would be a reason to play this card more than anything. But yeah, I'll agree with everybody else. Like a B, a totally playable combo.
Fine.
From what I've been seeing a lot of people's brews so far, the week 1 deck lists, everything, a lot of people are gravitating towards the gate combo, the door, which is like a basic ass Magaro.
Mm-hmm.
But it's off a gate trigger. I think Cigarettes is probably better than just like a normal Magaro, on its own. But if you're trying to run the Meliotis finisher, you do run into the issue that you were talking about earlier, Carmen, with having to need so many soul triggers. But I think this card actually sees play if you're playing the bar top end, maybe going choice bar seems better than gate bar.
Yeah, I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We can talk about the most interesting card in the set. Meliotis. Dean, you got it. It's all you.
Oh boy. So he's a 9K, 3/2, continuous. He gets 2K. On play heal, and then climax combo. On attack, if you have 4 or more, he gets 1,000 power and an ability cross turn. The ability is pay 1 when he gets attacked. Burn 2. Sorry, when the character facing him attacks at all. So that includes side attacks.
Mm-hmm. Can't dodge the burn.
Correct.
Yep.
Because there's a 2/1 assist as well that comes with it.
Yeah, so the 2/1 assist gives him 2K to front, and then specifically to this card, 1K, and this card is hexproof. Your opponent can't target it, and your opponent can't do burn damage in that lane so long as they front attack. The way it's worded, if they side attack, you can get burned. But then they're side attacking you, so is what it is. This is the most interesting card in the set by a long shot. This is probably the reason you'll want to play Seven Deadly Sins in the first place. Has a lot going for it.
Yeah, it's like a big body you drop, and then you can just turn off your opponent's entire top end if they've got like one of these crazy burn combos.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of turn off on reverse combos probably just because your power level's so high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's usually if you have the brainstorm and the 2/1 down, you're 15 on a wing, 15-5 in the center, or just 2 15s on the wings.
You slap down double back row.
If you slap down double back row, which in some matchups you might want to, especially against Adventure Time, where they have Sword.
Well, Sword would bounce both at once.
Yeah, Sword can bounce both the 2/1s, and then if they play a bubblegum back row, they could actually bounce a Meliotis as well.
Well, they would play down a Sword, and then they'd use the bond or grab the Sword back, and then sword you again.
Yeah, they could also do that. They could double sword you.
I don't think Adventure Time necessarily cares about you having the Meliotises on the field.
No,
they probably just care about you having the
card.
Elizabeths.
Yeah, they just want to be able to burn you.
Because their finisher heals also, so they don't really care if you're burning them too, because they just want to be able to burn you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a super cool card. The fact that it's offensive and defensive at the same time, it heals you down, and prevents your opponent from burning you, which is super obnoxious. Because even the on reverse combos, right? A lot of them still burn damage. They'll still do a burn effect on reverse.
Yeah.
So it turns off pretty much any threatening finisher that you have to worry about. And even non-finishers too, even if it's an off finisher like an Icy Tail or something, it would still work.
think the only thing that like in the meta that kind of gets hated on by this is like if the Kaguya player plays their entire game to field 2 president and they like double clock kick you.
Well,
Is-
Memory Snow beats this.
Does
Is
it?
it?
Memory Snow doesn't burn; it just puts climaxes into the clock.
And the other one burns it encore phase, so it's not in battle. It slam down the Stuba wall.
Well, that's supposed to just be an attack, so that doesn't really count.
I guess, yeah.
Suba gets around this.
Yeah, that's the big threat. Like if the Meliotis top end is really all that like people think it might be, Konosuba is like a hard counter.
Oh yeah, Konosuba fucks on it, yeah.
The Megumin, the new Crimson Bonds Megumin and Union finisher, it clock kicks the opponent's characters without targeting them, and then does burn damage. So without targeting the Meliotis, you put it into the clock, and then the Meliotis isn't there to have the effect to stop the burn damage. So then
Yeah.
the burn damage goes off. It
Completely,
just completely
ignores it.
ignores it.
We
Well, it's
also
also
know that
doing the burn outside of combat, so even the original Mega Man finisher will work.
Mhm.
But you can't target
Clock
though, right?
You won't get the clock kick, but you get
You-
the
you
four
won't- you
without
won't-
the burn.
You won't target, but you can burn the 4 because you're not in combat.
Yeah, and you won't take the 2, which is kind of nice.
hmm Because the card doesn't even attack at all. Which you also won't take the 2s with the linked palms either.
Yeah.
So I mean, whatever version of Konosuba you sit across from, just be aware that that card can probably fuck on you no matter what. Because even if all they have is like stock swap burn 5, they'll side burn 5 you all day. I think
Mhm.
to try to shove damage through.
Mhm.
So like you can't. I think the thing with this in the English meta is depending on the matchup, you can't bank on throwing this card down if your deck is like in a bad state and expecting to live. You're still susceptible to normal attack damage. You can be susceptible to sided burn damage if your opponent is playing a deck that can confirm triggers on top and side for 1 and do either like end of attack burns or is end of attack considered in battle, by the way?
No.
It's not considered in battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or yes, it is
The
considered
attack,
in battle. Yeah,
So
the end
I-
of
I
this
think
card's
it's at
attack.
the end of the attack, so it's like the final thing in the attack. I think
Okay,
you're
so it's still
in the
considered in
attack,
battle.
right?
So yeah. It's only on attack, siding on attack burns. But like you can't just. I've done very limited testing with this so far, but in my experience, you cannot slam this card if you are in like a bad deck state and be like, I'm not taking damage, which I think people have attributed this to be like kind of similar to like the JP meta Charlotte, and I don't think that's the right way to look at the card. Because Charlotte can just stare at you regardless of their deck state and say, I will live, because they're forcing a side attack and you can't burn. Whereas this, you will eat damage. So you can't just like draw up at like 3-3-3-2, slam 3 of these and expect to live. You still got to like be on top of your shit. But it's also burning your opponent as well, so it's a very different kind of card. I think I've heard this card compared to Charlotte a bit too much for my liking. Is all I wanted
Yeah, I was gonna
to
say like compared to Charlotte, like this. I haven't played a ton against Charlotte, but I don't think they actually have any like damage push at the top, right? Like they don't have any burn or anything.
Barely
it's just
any,
pure
yeah.
defensive.
Yeah, purely defensive for the most part. So.
There's like stuff they can play, but they usually don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like-
Still, yeah.
In the limited testing you've been doing, I watched a couple of those games. It was funny. It was the only time I ever saw Mocha kill someone.
Oh yeah,
against the
Mocha.
Meliotis. The Mocha completely fucking ignored.
Yeah,
it.
that's really funny. The Mocha, not only does it not like influence the effect at all, your opponent's Mocha goes off first, and they get a 2-card scry to cancel your burn too. It's it's pretty obnoxious. So, just throwing that out there. If your opponent's playing like some OG Bang Dream, that could be pretty gross. But I think I agree with everyone else, though. I think we could talk a lot about possible drawbacks, possible counters, but you can't deny this is a unique defensive finisher that has never been seen before, and people are going to play it, and people are going to mess with it, so you better be ready for it. And it's going to be cool to test as well. So I'm excited to see what it brings. Does anybody have any additional comments on this card? This is like the most interesting card in the set. So
I like the angle that the art is looking at him. It makes him look really imposing.
Anything else?
That's what they do with short guys in movies, right? They kind of like angle the camera up.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going for.
Difference between 5'11" and 6 foot, dramatic.
Yeah, she's 6 foot behind him, right?
Before, I think Diane's a little taller than 6 foot. She's like a giant. Fun fact about this card. Does not come in any foil at all. The full counter comes in triple rare, and
that sucks.
the Elizabeth comes in SR. There is not any foil for the 3/2 at all because
not an SP.
Nothing.
You know what I think that
There's
might
nothing for it.
This is
Yeah,
gonna be like one of those tournament like winner PRs.
you think so?
It's possible, right?
It would be cool. Yeah,
For their 7 Deadly Sins sin tournament they're doing or whatever.
that'd make it a hell of a lot more money. No, for that you just win boxes of product for the set that you had to buy to play in the tournament. Really well designed event.
I am a little autistic here, but I did go on the 7 Deadly Sins wiki, and Diane is 5'5" when in human form. So like this Meliotis is just a manlet.
Damn. I guess
Thank
he
you
is.
for the.
Yeah, that's her in her human form.
He is really short. So
She's 30 feet tall when she's big. It said so.
okay. Okay. All right.
That show's wild.
Next card. Or
When this card attacks, look at up to 2 cards in the top of your deck, choose one among them, put it on top, and put the other one into waiting room. When he attacks, you may put the top card of your deck into waiting room. It's a 0 or lower, put it on any position backstage. So it's like the Shizuru spawner, but the first attack procs at like a worse time.
You are right. However, it is still the strongest effect.
It's good. I mean,
are you serious right now? I think 7 Deadly
I can't tell.
I think 7 Deadly Sins has way too many cards with on-play abilities for you to want to play a spawner. The Gil Thunder is on play. The Gil Thunder's on play. Ricky on play. Clean Cut gains power on play.
I like this
that's
effect.
true.
It's fine.
If I was rating it like not in context with the rest of the set, I would probably rate it a lot higher.
You
Yeah.
get
That's the
to
case,
trigger
then, yeah.
choice more often.
Okay. The first effect is good.
Brainstorm.
The reason you'd play a Shizuru spawner is because or a card like this, right? Is because it's your plussing 0 is scalable throughout the game because the first effect is always relevant. So like I can be down with that evaluation of it, but I still don't like it that much. I wouldn't choose to play it over the other plussing 0s.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish.
Just to spite you, I'm showing 4 of this in my deck.
Okay.
I wasn't going to play it before, but 4 if it goes in now.
If the first effect could actually mill both of the cards, I'd like it a lot more.
That's not how any of those effects work.
Yeah, these
Oh,
effects
yeah, it
always
doesn't.
make you keep one.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting at. I'd like it a lot more if it did, because even if you do look at 2 cards, you're only going 2 cards deep, so it's not like you really better your chances of
This is
the
like-
spawn hitting that much.
This is the best card to play when you're in a terrible, when you're absolutely eating garbage and you need to just sandbag. Which I feel like this deck wants to sandbag at level 2.
Yeah.
It
I
might.
feel like this
yeah.
set has no good level 2s, and you just want to
Well, you have
eat
the
garbage.
You have the mesmerizing, but that's about it.
Yeah, the red early play is cool.
So you have nothing good at level 2. See,
Yeah.
There's a red early play?
Is there a red
Yeah.
early play?
Wait, isn't it? Isn't she red?
No, Diane's green.
Oh, might be.
Yeah, Diane's only green. Come on, Paru.
My bad. You know what? My bad.
All right, next card.
All right, we got Hypnotized Meliotis. He is a Rumia, so you can pay 1, discard a traded character. And when you do, you look at up to 4 cards from your deck and take anything to your hand. You don't have to show your opponent. You can take a climax, event, character, whatever. And on stage, he gets Holy Knight trait, which I was really wishing, as I was trying to build the blue deck, which is the Holy Knight clan, that this would have some sort of use and the traits would come up, but it does not, unless I miss something completely obvious. That first effect is just flavor text.
Huh. Rumias are fine, I
Yeah.
think,
Climax.
right? You can't ditch a climax, but this is a card for getting you into a climax.
Yeah.
So.
I- sequence.
There's a good check. There's a decent check X in the set, so I don't know if you need this, but the card profile's fine.
Well, yeah, it's fine, but like you also have the Chizuru to help you get into climaxes. I think I'd rather just play the Chizuru than this.
Yeah. The climax swap is better. Than this, I think, for climax assurance. But this card does mill, quote unquote. So maybe. All right, next
Card's
card.
like an Ozus.
We got the Pig, Peppa Pig, Hawk. On play mill 2. If you hit a climax, give a character 50 under power, including himself. And then pay 1, clock yourself on play. Choose level 1 or lower. Return it to your hand.
I
It's
think
Krista. It
It's
is.
fine. The Batman Ninja card.
Yeah, it is the Batman Ninja card.
It's actually worse than Batman Ninja card.
Yeah, Batman Ninja card grabs anything, right? Any traded, any weapon.
So it's the Cardcaptor Sakura one.
Yeah. This is
Fine.
Yeah, it's a totally fine card. I think it is the clock based plus that you'll end up playing. The fact that it does have mill 2 on it means it's a little bit more useful than absolute garbage in the late game. Your other options for clock pluses at 0 are like pretty scuffed comparably. There's a summon Ricky with on attack give 1k, but like we said, a lot of the things gain power on play, or effects on play, so you don't want to like summon things at level 0 or 1. And then the other one is an on death, you pay 1, clock yourself, check top 2, which is also fine, but I don't know. I think for hitting your level 1 combo, this is the better option. It's not great, but you'll play it anyway. So
yeah.
Fine, it's selective, which is good, and the first effect, being able to give power, makes it relevant throughout the game a bit more than the other 2 cards.
yeah,
I like that this card is a pig.
it's
Pig
Peppa,
trait, very strong.
Peppa Pig.
It is a pig trait. Is that a first?
What pig
By the
trait?
way, pig
The
trait?
first pig trait in Weiss Schwarz.
It might be the first pig. Who knows? I don't know. Seven Deadly Sins has. I won't say it's ugly art. It's really weird art.
It
I
is
would-
really strange looking.
I
It's
would
like,
say
well,
ugly.
it's not even like people have said it's like Toriyama-esque, but it's like not. It's like weirder. Something off about it.
When have you ever seen a potbelly pig like anime character
What?
ever before? I don't think there's a whole
I
lot of
don't know.
references to
Dude,
compare this to.
Hawk
right?
is a
Talking about
goddamn
the
really
pig.
annoying character. He loves those scraps though. All right, next card. Dean, go ahead.
Oh boy, this is a Elizabeth breaking the spell. It's a 1/1 early play stock bomb, and it has the field swap. This is you don't have 8 standby, but like this effect's pretty annoying for holding
Yep.
the board. So I don't know where to actually put this. Like
You
A
can still like
minus.
preemptive this thing, like just from hand.
But like, I mean, like, what are you defending that what you're walling up with? This deck doesn't really.
If
wall,
you
like, at
choose to
level
play
3.
standby, these cards are much better because they make your card that you put out from your standby able to go to your front row every time. But you don't have 8 standby, so this card is like so much worse in this set than it is in Data Live by like a lot. But it's still an Adachi with a totally like okay effect stapled to it. So if you want an Adachi, you'll play it. It's got a soul trigger, so if you're playing choice, like easy tech card to include, right? Like just toss an Adachi in. In a global soul deck, the first effect is like almost useless.
Well, I don't know. I
Unfortunately.
like what Paru was saying about being able to pre-field it. Right, you don't have to be as reactive with it. You can play it and just use it as an attacker.
Yeah, you
And then
can
when your
just move
opponent
it
goes to
around.
play their early play or whatever, you can shift this in front of it and apply some off-turn pressure that way.
Yeah, it is better
I don't-
than usual.
I don't think that's good versus like every early play though.
Not
Well,
all.
not every early play, but I mean, it's something, you know. Against some early plays will be good.
Mm-hmm.
You could fool somebody into siding.
Yeah, like slime,
Trick
trick
'em.
them into siding it.
All right, next card.
Cool. We already said what this card does.
Yeah, for the most part.
But this card's like the best one.
I mean, this is the reason to play the Meliotis. If you didn't have this, you could not play the Meliotis at all. So, yeah, you play it. 'Cause you're definitely playing the Meliotis if you're playing this set. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't think there's like a weird like secret deck hidden in this set. I know some people have talked about like door standby, where just like running standby as like a value climax, and like maybe even
kind of cool.
maybe even running the Meliotis empty and like getting him out early. But like at the end of the day, like my problem is why. Like, why would you ever stand by this at 1 and then stand by the other 2? Because, like, in Mob, when you stand by the 2-1 at 1, right? You start, like, getting the markers, and then the fucking, like, what is it? The Reagan can come down at 2 and, like, be a fucking
Okay. Yeah,
giant
I don't
wall.
think this is your. I
Like,
don't think this is your standby target for level 2s, though. I think.
well, yeah, I agree.
I think you'd go for like the 2/2 instead of this.
Sure, but I mean, like, but then this doesn't work with your 2/2s that you have out. So, like, I don't understand this idea of, like, playing a value deck where you play the door double combo and an empty standby and you play the Meliotis anyway. Like, the benefit isn't there because the Meliotis really doesn't do anything until you hit level 3 anyway. People aren't burning you at level 2 unless you're playing against Sunshine. Like, in one matchup, it's relevant in English right now. And I guess when Mushoku shows up, it still won't be relevant because the Ruzard is a Mocha, not a burn, unlike Symphogear. Like, people aren't really burning you at 2 outside of Love Life Sunshine. So, like, what does it fucking matter? Like, I don't understand the like, door standby, like, benefit other than just playing standby. Like, I can't really see the...
Oh, wait, what are we
the
talking about
benefit
for
there.
door stand? I think door standby is different. Or are you talking
Well,
about
no.
standby choice?
There was an idea of playing door standby with like the Meliotis without the combo, like the
Meliotis
2-1
without the combo.
the 2-1 and the Meliotis without the combo. It came up
Oh,
on like
no, I don't like that.
it came up on like the Strictly stream, and a couple people I've talked to about the set as like a possible option, and I really cannot see the benefit after like testing some of the other decks. Because like again, the Meliotis isn't live until level 3, so like what's the point?
I think door standby could very well be the like best deck you can make out of the set. But I don't think it involves the Meliotis and the Elizabeth in any way whatsoever. I think
Probably not.
I think it would just be because you have the double combo off of gate already for your whole level 1 and level 3, and you have a whole extra climax you can play around with. So you just throw standby in.
Yeah, you just throw the values to climax.
Um.
But yeah, we can
Yeah.
just move on. Does anybody know who's next?
I think it was.
It was
Yeah.
you. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
was supposed
Paru.
to do the 2-1, but we already talked about it.
All right, go ahead, Paru.
Meliotis 3/2. He gets 500 power for each other character. On play, search a character, and then when his damage is during this card's battle, when his damage is not cancelled, and you have 2 or more other characters, you can discard 2. And then deal the same amount to your opponent. So he's got Revenge Burn.
11k on play search revenge burn.
Yeah.
Do you think you
Okay,
play this
yes.
in the Meliotis deck as like a pseudo 5th copy of the finisher?
No, because it doesn't actually have the anti-burn.
Yeah, I don't think you. I think in choice decks you can play this as an quote unquote off level 3. If you play 8 choice. And in that door standby deck, you play this card probably as like a big wall that you summon that has reflect on it. That's not a dead card when you play it from hand. But I think outside of those decks, you probably don't play it because in the door decks you have the Bon off finisher, but like the card itself is like okay. I'm with Paru. I think it's like a The fine.
Are you sure
card.
they weren't talking about this card in the Strictly Broken
No, they
stream
were.
when they were talking about the Meliotis with
They
the...
were talking about playing the 2-1 and the 3-2 as a like in standby without the combo.
I was gonna
Or
say,
I don't even know if it
would
wasn't a
fine.
Strictly stream. It might have been in discussions.
And
I don't
this
know.
card does not have anti-burn on it. The other one
been-
does. The other
I've
one
been-
is like 1,000 power bigger and has anti.
Look.
Whoa! If you get burned when you have this on the board, you deal damage.
You can do it twice. You're right.
Look, I've been
Okay.
drinking a lot, and a lot of people have said me a lot of things.
Oh shit! You could do this multiple times in the same attack, couldn't you?
Yeah, as long as you have infinite hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ooh.
if they front attack and they burn you, ditch 2 burn them.
Yeah.
They attack sticks, fucking ditch 2 burn them again.
Yep,
Just
yep,
keep
yep.
going.
I would play into that. I would have played into that before you just said that. Like, it's
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
better to
It's a
not
cheeky
attack
little
this,
interaction.
just in case they take the damage.
I mean, Orisa does that too, right? Like
Mhm.
Orisa's also not limited. A swimsuit
Correct.
Orisa is not limited.
But it's like pay to ditch one. It's
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah, this is
different.
ditch
It's
too.
gonna
Yeah,
cost more.
you could nuke your whole hand realistically to do this, and then
And it searches on play, so it's like half of a burn.
nice
This is modular damage. It's better than other cards.
modular being what your opponent sticks on you.
He is correct in that it is
Yeah, he is
different,
true.
depending on the circumstance.
All right, let's move on. Back to the top,
Yeah.
Andy.
all right. We got Elizabeth, Courage and Determination. When this is in your middle position, it gets an extra soul, and it is a drop searcher.
Yep.
It's our girl. It's our girl, Spaghetti.
Yeah,
Good card.
Kokoro Job Search, easy playable, good card. You could do much worse than this effect.
Oh,
Well, actually, I gotta slap it with the minus because there's just so many good level zeros in this set that like I don't think I could even fit this into my current list I'm running.
I run 1, but like, yeah, it is hard to fit. You'd have to cut other cards, play more.
Like
Alright.
the zero lineup in Seven Deadly Sins is just such a banger.
All right, next card. Elizabeth, instant answer, level 0. All your opponent's characters get Encore 2, and then when you play it, you can choose a card in your hand and put it in your stock, and it's at oversize. So it's a hand to stock oversize. You know if you need the card.
Yeah, deck seems like it runs low on stock, so you might want this.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, like, if you want additional opening cards and like you don't want to go into like the full package of like 4 and 4 or 4 and 3 of the other plussing zeros, you could just play this.
I think this is something you play as like a one of in case you need it at level 3.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Just to be able to
Your
field
finisher
your
doesn't
board.
need any hand, so
It's a
you
good
can-
opener, yeah.
That's fine, yeah.
Good extra opener.
Hmm.
Like a fine card.
It's like the Da Capo drops. No, climax swap. Like it's a fine like turn 1 play, and it's also just good throughout the game.
Different kind of card. I think it's a little bit more niche
All
than
right.
that, but I think it's fine. Yeah, you're right. Next, Dean.
Oh boy, he's doing the Hachikuji sign.
He is.
The Italian thing.
Yes, he is. Can't confirm.
During your turn, he's a 6K, and then on play, you give a card 2K. This is like okay. There's a lot of power.
Yep, this is the one Andy was talking about. This is definitely better than the trial deck one. You want to play a auxiliary level one.
Well, the trial deck one was 6K cross turn.
Well, no.
No.
We were talking about the yellow one, the one that was 7K on attack.
Oh yeah, that card sucks. This
Yeah.
card's fine.
Okay. All right. Next, Paru.
Arthur, if you have 2 or more other characters, he gets 1500 power and hand encore. And then when you place him from stage to hand, if you have 4 or more other characters, you can stock a character from waiting room.
This
This
card
is
so
a
scuffed.
really small standby target.
I think
that
you guys are
can
looking at
play
this
from
card.
hand.
You guys
This
are
is
looking.
not a standby target. This is
No.
a card to play.
You guys are looking at this card the wrong way. If you're playing
Mhm.
8 choice, you probably play this card. This is a costless. This is a costless playable attacker that you could play at 1. That has a soul trigger. And when you're playing 8 choice, you know when you're in those situations where your fucking life is pain and all you need is a playable,
Sure.
That's like a reason to play this card. Do I think this
No,
card is good? No, but I do think this card is a way to mitigate the issues that you would have with an 8-choice lineup. And because of that, and people are going to play 8-choice because they go, oh my god, I just want to play Elizabeth. This card is like a totally reasonable card that you would play.
South
I think
10th
you-
actually has this exact card, and I don't think anyone ever played that in the 8-choice deck.
Who? What's that?
Sal 10th.
South 10th has this card.
Yeah, I think
I'm
they
betting
do.
that Sal 10th had a lot better like level 1 targets to choose from though.
No,
They had
didn't
Leaf a
play any
counter.
other level ones. Oh, doesn't this set up Leaf a counter?
It does.
They do, but you don't really have anything you want to defend at level 1 with this. Sal plays backups really well.
I mean, I think you could do a lot worse than a costless 6K with hand on
Yeah,
core with a
sure.
soul trigger, especially when you are adding junk with your choice level 1 combo.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly do think, you guys are gonna laugh at me for this. I honestly do think this card in that deck is probably something you're forced to play because 8-choice is such a shit lineup. And
Forced to
sometimes,
play doesn't inspire confidence.
well, yeah,
I
Sounds
mean,
pretty
when I was messing around with 8-choice earlier, and I kind of came to the same conclusion that if the deck wasn't trying to run 8-choice, then I'd be right there with you guys, giving it an F. But I think in the context of 8-choice, like you're not running it because you want to, but it's kind of just like
Maybe the problem is that 8-choice is actually just not very good.
it isn't.
Yeah,
Not.
maybe that's the issue.
People will play it anyway, though. So, like, and I'm just trying to do my due diligence here. Because,
I
like,
see.
if you're playing 8-choice, this is a card you can consider. Bring it up, where it's just like, I hate Elaine. I'll only play Elizabeth. Well, I love Elizabeth. I want to.
Yeah, okay.
I want to
but that's kinda
fucking
weird,
suck
right?
the sweat out of her one sock, like
'Cause
whatever.
I think-
'Cause she only has one sock, dude. Have you never looked at
right.
Have you never looked at
No.
Elizabeth's design? Her whole design is like half on, half
it's
off.
been a while since I watched
Yeah.
the show, but you're right. Like her whole body is just like lopsided, pretty
she's
much.
she's half on, half off. You're just like, oh my god, I want to lick the foot sweat out of her sock. Like I'm only gonna play that card. Like, and you're just like, oh my god, my deck sucks. My climax triggers don't do anything. This is like a card that you can play that makes your deck less shit at level 1. That's all I'm saying. Like, so
Fair point. Yeah.
Paru, what were you trying to say? I joked over you.
I feel like there have been times in the past where like someone was like, "Oh, this card would be really good in this one specific deck," and then like the consensus was, "Well, why would you ever play that deck?" And that's kind of just how I feel about this.
I mean, yeah, I'm not disagreeing
don't-
with you.
I don't see a reason to give this a C because I don't think you should be playing 8-choice.
Well, I don't
So
think
you're
it.
just playing like you're just
Mm,
playing like a bad card in a bad deck.
you're
and
right.
Contextually, the bad card is like a little bit better than abject garbage.
You're right. You're right. I'll drop it. I'll give it a D plus, D minus.
Okay,
I guess C minus is more. I do think it's niche to that. So
a
Yeah,
D.5.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point.
you're right.
But I think like if you are going to play 8-choice, which is like, you know, there are reasons you'd maybe want to, like for the extra stock, or like maybe you just really like Elizabeth's sock sweat, but you play this card then.
All right. Next
Yeah.
card. You know, speaking of sock sweat, whose card is this?
I could see why you'd want to suck her sock sweat.
I think this one's mine. When you yeah, it's a free fresh counter.
Yeah, I agree with Dean. I think these are good.
You play it.
It seems
Wait.
like you probably don't fight for board too well until level 3 though. So it's
Okay,
like
yeah,
you're only
these
as
are
good at
better
them.
when you're actually like winning board with them. Like, do you have anything bigger than just your Diane sitting at like 10 maybe, or no, 9 maybe 11k?
Probably not.
If you play the 2-1 down early, it could be 13.
If
Well,
you're playing the
13-5
good
you
deck,
mean, right?
if you're playing the good deck, then
Diane
I'm
is
gonna-
11k on defense, right?
What's
If
the
you have
good
assist?
deck, Dean?
if you play the good deck, which is the what I was thinking of is the apples combo at level 2, because it's the only way you can conserve stock while also fighting for board.
Oh my god.
Wait, what combo?
He's talking about the TD apples.
No, it's not TDs. I said the at level 2, there's a 2-1 vanilla, and there's a 1-0 that makes it a 10k with hand encore. And I said that sounds kind of okay.
Oh my god.
The Gil Thunder?
I think
The
so.
Gil
I don't know.
Thunder
It's like
combo.
a guy with a bag on his back or something. I don't know.
Oh, the Gouther or whatever. Gother. I don't know. The standby dude.
We'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It'll
it's
be
a
a
free
nice
fresh
surprise
counter.
first.
This is like the de facto defensive counter. You play the card.
Oh, this next card's sick.
All right. This is Hawk Confusion. 2/1. When you play it, you can pay 2 and rest any of your Britannia characters, including this pig. And if you do, your opponent chooses 1 climax in their waiting room, returns the rest of the cards to their deck, shuffles their deck. It's a Fumio.
It's good.
I don't think it's good.
No.
I think
They're like so situational, but you shove one in just in case, because sometimes it wins you games and a lot of times it doesn't.
I don't know.
You really
dude.
need the Fumio in every
I'd
set?
rather
You really
stock
need
swap. I'd rather stock swap. Like
You can do both.
The set stock swap isn't very good either, but at least it's better than this.
I think pay 3 overall, rest a character on a 2/1 is like. I wish these were inverted. Like, why isn't the stock swap a 2/1 and why isn't the level 3? You know, like it. Yeah, I don't like the cost, but like Dean is right. If you have the space, you put this in. I think in not 8 choice builds, you would struggle to pay the 3 to play this. Like to even threaten to pay the 3. Like if I looked up and my opponent was on like 4, 5, 6 stock, and like I was in it, I would be like, yeah, go ahead, dude. Fucking blow your load and Fumio me. By all means, go ahead at level 2. Like I would not give a singular shit.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret too here, Carmen.
Yeah.
I built 8 choice, and I cut this card. Like, I don't think the Meliotis finisher really cares about having a Fumio effect like this, right? Because you're doing your burn damage off turn. You're not trying to just like alpha strike them like you would with like Konosuba or something.
You can Fumio and then hit them with Bond. Oh, no, you're talking about 8 choice though. Never mind.
Yeah, so
you
like
could Fumio and then like just swing out and try to kill him, but
but you're not real. But if you're trying to swing out and kill them, you don't want them to be able to like heal down or get another turn. And the Meliotis finisher
is I
doesn't
get it.
do that.
Predicated on your opponent having another turn. I don't know. My problem is the cost. Pay 3 overall, rest is pretty shit. But again, Dean brings up an important point. If you have the space, you put it in the card.
Randomly good. It's the card that the second you cut it, you'll wish you had it, but you'll never use it when it's in your deck.
Exactly. Next.
Okay.
I believe this is Dean, yeah.
Early play, if you have 2 or less climaxes, it's top check X. This card is absolutely terrible. I would never put this in my deck.
Whoa.
I don't think it's that bad.
Really?
It's like a C minus. I would never like Adventure Time and like Mob when they have that like 4 or more top check X condition. That's insane. That's really good. Like 2 or less is terrible.
Well, Dean, have you looked at a lot of the cards in the set yet?
Well, I would rather play vanillas than I would put this into my deck.
Well, let me tell you something, Dean. There are 2 early plays in the set, and this is one of them.
Well,
you don't have a lot of choices.
Well, we're gonna go and look at this vanilla, and I'm gonna tell you why this vanilla is better than this 3/2.
There's a vanilla coming up.
Well, no. I think mixing your early play conditions is good because there's a 2 or less and a 4 or more. Like, and the 4 or more is a aqua, so like you're ditching a card. So if you play this and then trip a card and then ditch a card, it like puts out two soul bodies. I think that's fine. But I mean, it's still a pretty whatever card. Like I don't want to shield for it too hard, but it's not shit like Dean's saying. I think it's fine.
I would feel bad putting this in my deck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's great. I think that's why I'm giving it like the /B. Like I think
what card fills the same slot but is cheaper and better?
The Rumia.
The level 0 that cost 1 stock instead of 2 to put down.
But that doesn't have 2 soul, and this is big.
Well, big. It's baseline power.
Whatever. Okay, it's big enough.
I think the be in the end all is that that it works with your other early play that you play. That's literally it. The fact that it's a 2 or less with a check X for a healer that ditches.
Yep.
With 4 or more. That is why you would play it.
They're going to
Otherwise,
print
it's
7
fine.
Deadly Sins too, and this card's going to go into the trash can.
Can we read the flavor text on the next card when we get to it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. You can read the flavor text, Paru.
Oh man, what am I? Your ambulance?
I get it because he's a pig.
Yeah, I get it. It's fucking.
He's
funny.
like lunch.
He's saving
like-
his bacon right now.
He's like lunch meat. But he
Okay.
walks.
Whose turn is this?
It's you. It's you.
Sick. Okay, it's a global. No, it's a frontal 500 assist, and then rest 2 to give one of your characters the when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed. You can stock a character or stock a card from the top of your deck.
Broken.
I'm with Dean on this one, actually. I think it's actually...
Have you ever played this in
Fine card.
Monogatari
It's
or
unfortunate.
Disgaea?
Yeah, I cut this from Monogatari. It's unfortunate that this like denies you your brainstorm.
But this is probably the best stock charging option you have in the set.
It's
There's
the
a-
only
The
stock
only
charging.
There is a terrible thing I must tell you that brainstorming is bad.
Yeah.
Is brainstorming bad?
Brainstorming
Wait,
is bad.
guys, think about it.
Why?
If you play this
Okay, Dean.
with
Dean,
valuable
I'll entertain you. Red pill me. Why is brainstorming bad?
Brainstorming on first deck is like not even a guaranteed plus. You use a stock that would be like better used at your end game or later down the line to brainstorm. While like your natural hand advantage is enough in the early game. So like brainstorming on first deck is so terrible that this.
Well, I
like,
agree with you
doesn't
there.
matter. You can like use this 2 times and then just like chump it when you're sandbagging it too, because I feel like this deck does nothing at 2.
It's.
So, like-
I mean, it's a
You
fine
think-
card.
In theory, it helps you eliminate the cost of some of the... Because there's like the Rumia that you have to pay 1 and sacrifice it. There's the... what is it? It's like an on-play, give 1,000 power, and then pay 1 sacrifice at top check 4.
Like the
You can
next
like
card,
rest
yeah.
that down as one of the halves for this, and then get your stock back. But I think the point that you can't brainstorm and do this card inherently on its own is kind of like a drawback. If this was just rest itself instead, it'd be way, way better.
Oh yeah, they'd never print that. I mean, this card was in Quince and it did see play. Another deck that wanted a lot of stock. Like, but what Dean said is right. I mean, this is better than brainstorming on first deck a lot of the time. I think there is a better use of your other back row slot, which is a self-rest card. It's also a global 5 instead of a frontal 5. And it's not as good as stock charge, but I think the card's okay. I don't know. After playing the set a bit, I don't know if you actually need the stock charge to hit your shit all the time. Meliotis is deceptively cheap to do. You'd have to be building towards something else, which I don't know what that is. Especially if you're sandbagging. Especially if you're quote unquote sandbagging it too. I think there are things to do it too. Nothing super impactful. It's just play a 1-stock healer, but like again, that's a 1-stock healer. I don't think that's taxing your resources too much. But
All the finishers in this set are fairly cheap, like cost wise. So you might not actually need this. Like the king is pay 1, ditch 1. The blue ones pay 1, discard 2 cards. I think. I don't remember what the bond is, but I don't think he's too much.
pay 2 on reverse. So yeah, they're all fairly affordable. So I don't know if you need it, but like, yeah, it's fine. Next card.
Okay, this is the card I was talking about. Elizabeth Backup Plan. On play, give 1,000 power anywhere, and you can pay 1, sack it, look at the top 4 cards for a Britannia character. I really don't like these unless they go to memory,
Same.
generally speaking.
Has good synergy with your clean cut though. Gives your clean cut extra power to hit over and oversize, and then goes to back row and turns into a different card the next turn.
I think it's like an alright tech card, I guess, but
I mean,
like a huge fan.
I would not be happy to have to sleeve this up in a set. Like they're
Oh,
sometimes
you finally
necessary.
changed your mind.
They are sometimes necessary evils. In Mob Dean, I thought it was a necessary evil, but it turns out you were right about Explosion Counter, and Explosion Counter was a better card than I thought.
Hell yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Never doubt me.
Dean, I don't think this is. I think Dean, if it didn't have the power, I'd agreed with you. I think the power with the clean
I'd rather
cut's
sleep
good.
a vanilla. I'd rather sleep
Really?
Married Life.
You hate these that much?
I hate these that much. I think that effect is so bad.
Not going to memory is like
It
Kinda
does
shit.
suck. There is like a true marked difference between the memory ones and stacked ones. And sometimes you just need that deck speed band-aid, dude. I don't think the set needs that.
you can run 7 torches. I don't think you need it.
Well, why is she threatening to stab herself? Sorry.
It's been a while since I've seen the show. I couldn't
Yeah, I
tell
can't
you.
remember. All right, next card.
Oh, is this one me?
I think it's me actually. But do you want it, Dean? Is this your
No,
favorite?
it's not me. It's not me.
Okay.
But this is.
Meliotis reunion. If you have another Bond reunion, this is a 107k. The Bond is a 1035, where if you have the Meliotis, it's a 6/5 with hand on core. This sucks,
big.
dude. This
So big.
This sucks.
How do you lose? This is bigger than your 1/1.
That's true.
It is bigger than your 1/1.
This is how you win.
This is how you win.
1065 107k.
Dude, you hit
This
level
is the
1.
card that's going to win the 2022 WGP.
This card is like it's so big. How do you lose? Strongest card.
Oh my god. You aren't serious, are you?
No, I'm not, but I think it's funny.
Okay.
I think
Shit.
this is the card that you'll laugh about and then lose to.
Maybe. I mean, it's possible.
Your opponent's gonna try field this and then put the Bond in the background. You're going, I don't know what to do. And then you lose. It's gonna be sick. It's like
It's
Joker
too
Wall.
big. It's like Joker Wall. Okay. Next card. Dean, you get the pig.
Oh boy, I got this Hawk. It's a 1/0 on play. It gets 500 times number of characters, and if it gets reversed, you can't use Encore at all.
Oh, he's
Um,
8K. He's thick.
Yeah, I guess he's like a Slayer.
Wait,
whatever.
he's an 8k Slayer.
I guess it's
It's like a D.
Yeah, it's better than a normal Slayer. It's not good.
yeah.
I guess it's closer to an F+, but like it's fine.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. You could randomly put this in your deck and not feel terrible.
Oh wait, I was doing my math wrong. Wait, that is 8K, not
Yeah,
7K.
it's bigger than your normal like 7k 7/5 Slayer. Just slightly
Still
bigger.
shit,
Yeah.
but
Speaking of Slayer,
Go ahead, Paru.
this card cannot side attack. When attacks, if the character facing this card is level 3 or higher, this gets 6K. It's another fucking Slayer. But it's 14K. Which I
Yep.
think is smaller than.
No,
Or no,
bigger.
it
It's
is
bigger. They're
Yeah.
usually 13/5. It has a drawback. It's fine.
Yeah.
Slightly better than garbage.
probably fun
Yeah,
and it's a
slightly better.
good choice target, right?
I mean, sure. I think the
But maybe
Adachi's,
it's probably a bit duplicative with the Adachi. Yeah.
the Adachi's probably better. Especially since this card does literally nothing else. The field swap is like almost never useful, but at least it is printed text. It could be useful. All right, the spiciest card. Fucking you, Andy.
Oh, nice. We got the wanted poster. Looks like an ad on the Goblin Slayer job board because it is the same thing as fucking Torch. It is a pay for
Pay 4. you
not
said.
pay for, look at for. It's the camera, but you can counter with it. Look at 4 cards, take a character.
A Deadly Sin, which is not all characters in the set, by the way. Deadly
I just
Sin
looked at
is
that.
not Britannia.
Oh shit, you're right.
Deadly Sin is not Britannia trait.
Ooh.
It doesn't get pigs.
It doesn't get Hawks. It doesn't get Elizabeths. It doesn't get Gil Thunders.
Fuck!
It only gets Diane's.
Absolutely crippled.
Dude, I had
Diane's.
like this coolest idea for a deck, and I was working on it, and that actually ruins it now that you pointed that out.
Not only is this worse then, but you can run fewer counts. You cannot run as many counts of this as you can. Batman Ninjas.
Wait, really?
Batman Ninja. You can play 8 in Batman Ninja.
Can you?
Batman Ninja just has 2 different cameras, right?
Yeah, they have 2 different cameras.
Yeah, but this is a counter. This is a torch. It's different.
That is cool. It lets you absolutely play like a monkey into Dow. You can leave your 1 card deck so that they can shuffle 3 back in, and then you go.
Okay, is there actually a reason that like could you realistically actually sleeve this up and just have like 6 to 7 cameras in a deck
Turbo mill,
at
yeah,
counter
you can.
speed?
Turbo mill, dude. Yeah, infinite
What
deck
happened?
speed.
I think the trade thing would start to.
Like is
So-
yeah the deadly sins thing does kind of.
There are so
Take
many
the
good-
items in your deck. Easily.
No,
Who
dude,
does that not-
there are good Gil
who does that-
Thunders, there are good Hawks, and there are good Elizabeths, and you can't run
Who's
any of
that?
them.
You don't play them. It's easy.
Elizabeth isn't-
Don't
isn't
play 'em.
100%, right?
Just
You don't have
play
to
'em.
like wait. Like you only need to have like 22 hits on this, right? Like I think it's like 21 to 22 is all you need. So
Okay, but,
like
like,
if
the
you
thing
run
is-
7 of this, then that's like you got like 5 or 6 cards you can shove in there that are off trade.
So torch is cool, right? Because you can just like go like 1 or 2 cards and stop. But like if you go 1 and 2 cards and stop with this, there's a chance you just whiff it.
Yeah,
Well,
you could run like maybe if you're running like Wind Bar, like the trial deck Wind
why
into
do you
the
go
bar
1 or 2
finisher.
cards with
Maybe
torch?
I don't know.
That's for power. Otherwise,
you
you're
ever-
playing blackjack.
just
Why
it's
don't you
well
watch
it's to
those
try to
videos
help
literally
of
cancel,
bombs
right?
there?
No,
You
it's
can
literally
like try to help
blackjack.
cancel with it.
That's
you like
blackjack. Torching on your opponent's turn is blackjack. It literally does nothing.
are you
Unless you're on
talking
the end of
about?
the deck. It literally does nothing.
you kind of go like 1 or 2
No,
cards.
no,
If you
that's
hit like 2
blackjack.
clean, you're like,
That's
I'll stop
blackjack.
now and then I'll cancel.
That's blackjack. Congratulations. That's not.
Yeah.
actually
That's
Weiss,
not
and
how it
not
works.
math.
That's not
Alright.
math. Yeah, no. Dean's right. It's only good milling is only good for canceling if your deck is clean. If your deck is clean, then yeah, sure, but it's not like some sort of crazy scry unless you have the milky powers and you always know when to stop. Like
Milky is also blackjack.
yeah,
but like a lot.
Milky's blackjack, but you're forced to do it because it's your only mill and your only plus. It's blackjack, but they put a gun to your head and force you to take the hit. They force you to tap the table.
But no, like this being a counter is like only useful at like really specific situations. Outside of that, it's like you just it's the same as a camera.
Yeah, I mean,
Unless
it's cool that
you
you can
get
play
some power.
7. The fact that you can play 7 of them is pretty sick. But
Because your other cards are not good enough, so you
you
cut 'em.
just play nothing. I mean, I think it's fine. Raw camera's okay. The fact that it can only add Deadly Sin is more relevant than I think we probably want to admit. It's probably just all right.
I think it's very relevant.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at the cards.
Well,
I mean,
that's what we're
Carmen
gonna
was
do.
saying like the Gil Thunder Chaser, you probably want 4 copies of.
Why is the choice combo not the
Hockey.
7 deadly?
Yeah, no. Elizabeth, any card with Elizabeth, Hawk, or Gil Thunder on it, or Arthur is not a Deadly Sin.
That's pretty pain.
Yeah. Or Elaine. Elaine is also not a Deadly Sin. So, all right. I think that's it for Yellow. Any other thoughts on Yellow before we close up? We're under an hour currently. I want to keep it that way.
Done.
It's
Done.
the most interesting color.
All right. We'll see you guys in green.
I like blue.